Hello and welcome back to the Gate series. Today we are talking about Gate 15. Gate 15 is called the Gate of Extremes. This is also the 15th gene key, which the gift of the 15th gene key is magnetism. Gate 15 is also the 15th hexagram in the I Ching, which is modesty, but it also has close ties with integrity. Gate 15 is in the identity center, and it's that diamond in the middle of the body graph. That is part of the channel 15.5, which is the channel of rhythm. This is the design of being in the flow. This channel of the 15th has a rhythmic quality to it, and it will influence the environment that it is in, especially if the entire 515 is defined. This can happen individually or as a composite. So a composite would be one or more people, be two or more people, sorry. So say a person with this gate of extremes defined can join up with someone with a person that has the 5 defined, which is the other part of the channel. What can happen, and it's important to be aware of, is that when this channel is defined by two separate people, so somebody with the 15 and somebody with the 5, it can cause some problems, or at least some frustration. Because this is the gate of extremes, it is designed to explore and live out all of the extremes in life. So if you have that gate 15 activated and you come across someone, maybe it's even a friend or family member that has the gate 5 or vice versa, it's good to know that because the gate 15 is the gate of extremes, and the gate 5 creates an electromagnetic connection that demands a fixed pattern. So it's kind of like an opposing energy in a way. And the 15 doesn't necessarily enjoy that energy. So this can look like a partnership where one person with the gate 15 may like to stay up really late sometimes, and their partner loves to have a fixed time to go to sleep and to wake up, for a simple example. So it's important to respect each other's structure and flow, but it can cause a lot of frustration just due to the fact that it's just different ways of living and operating. The gate 15 also concerns itself with integrity, like I mentioned a bit ago. When we are in integrity, we are honest with ourselves. We know what we have the capacity for and what our limits are. Integrity can also show up in a solid sense of self-worth because we are being true to ourselves, and it feels really good to be in integrity. So the expression and the experience of the 15th gate. So there are different frequency bands, which I talk about in each one of these gate series or gate videos in the series, and they're frequency bands which essentially express a different vibratory expression. And it influences the way that we experience each gate. So these frequency bands, they essentially determine the amount of light that we are able to stream through and within us. It is a vibratory experience of consciousness translated through the human. The 3 frequency bands are shadow, gift, and city. I focus on the shadow, where the majority of humanity resides, and the gift, which is where some of us are at and experiencing, most likely because we have transmuted dense energies within the body through karmic lessons when we are in the gift state. So the shadow expression of the 15th gate is dullness. The shadow of the 15th can be experienced as a pervasive fear of the mundane repetitiveness of life. The shadow is the forgetfulness of our divinity as part of ourselves, and the experience of a hellish kind of perspective of life. It's the feeling of being locked or trapped into patterns and we cannot see a way out. It is the experience of being unable to see the divine paradox, that life consists of repeating patterns. That is nature and the holographic basis of the universe. One of my favorite definitions of magic is redefining. And there's so much power in the ability to redefine our perspective. Richard Rudd says, with our self-reflective awareness, we humans are capable of something truly magical, and at the same time quite terrifying. We are capable of attitude. Only the human neocortex makes dullness possible. So your attitude affects life's events, which is the first great law of magic. Two humans going through identical experiences can literally taste two entirely different worlds. One can be heaven and the other hell. Not only that, your attitude affects life's events, which is the first great law of magic. So, how does this shadow of dullness really express itself? Well, it expresses itself through a repressive way or a reactive way, which we talk about in each video. The shadow always is moving in a repressive energy. So we're pushing it down, we're pushing it away, it's more avoidant, and that is always rooted in fear, or it's in a reactive energy, which is typically rooted in a lot of anger. So the repressiveness of the shadow frequency of dullness of the 15th gate is emptiness. So this can manifest as what feels like depression and like just a deep feeling of emptiness. So what is going on here is that we have not fully allowed ourselves to have that emptiness truly penetrate our being. So there's like this sense of emptiness, but we haven't allowed it all the way in. So there's a fear that's keeping that emptiness just at bay enough to not consume us. And it can be extremely energizing once that emptiness is fully accepted and allowed to move through our body and our being. The reactive expression of dullness is extremist. So this is rooted in anger and it has a quality of rebelliousness. It shows up as non-committal and always on the move, driven by reactive anger that is avoiding the confrontation of the self. Which again, if we do confront ourselves and we're honest with ourselves, that always leads to integrity, right? So the gift frequency is magnetism of the gate 15. So this is really mind-blowing. Something I was reading about in the Gene Keys is that the 15th key is coded with the Schumann Resonance, which is a mathematical frequency of the planet's life pulse or heartbeat. So when we can slow down and drop into the emptiness that we feel, no longer running or reacting to its presence, we can tap into the resonance of the earth, which is essentially us. There is a shift in the consciousness that now emanates as magnetism. Many people with the 15th gate activated have an inherent deep connection to the planet, to animals, to living creatures. It is part of their DNA. It is coded within them to be able to tap into the resonance of life in this profound way. Another very special thing about those with the gift of the 15th gate is that they are willing and able to work with the extremes in life. This gate magnetically attracts diversity and extremes. I'd like to leave you with another quote from Richard Rudd. The real beauty of the 15th gift, however, lies in its acceptance of ordinariness. To experience life through this gift is, in the words of William Blake, to see heaven in a wildflower. It is to view the holographic vista of life as complete exactly as it appears before you. To the 15th gene key, there can be no separation between the mystical and the mundane, because life is experienced as an immortal journey through all the mythic strands and stories of human culture. So I'm curious, do you have the gate 15 activated within your chart? Have you experienced that emptiness of the shadow state? Have you moved through this? Do you notice challenges with someone that has the gate 15, the gate of extremes in your life? I would love to hear about your experience in the comments below. Thank you.